Las Vegas, this is NAB Show Live, produced by Broadcast Beat.
Because I'm a passionate guy about internet streaming, and the two guests that I have today, I have Brian, co-founder CEO of StreamSpot, and I have Rudy from Switchboard Live.
Thanks for having us.
So yeah, man, let's get right to it. Actually, can you guys hit to the computer shot real quick? We'll get a StreamSpot first, Brian.
Fantastic.
See if they got it. They got it? No? Anyways, we'll just start talking. We'll get in a minute. So you're with StreamSpot. Explain to the fine people what StreamSpot is doing these days.
Absolutely. So StreamSpot is an all-inclusive live and on-demand streaming provider. Unlike other streaming providers on the market, we like to simplify the process from capture all the way through delivery and then through all the integrations that we have to the different destinations really take a process that we found quite cumbersome and really simplify it.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about the workflow here, which I absolutely love. If you're in the internet streaming and you're doing a lot of post stuff, the amazing thing, the stream records directly into the cloud with the RMTP feed, which makes it amazing. And if you're doing a show, if you're doing a broadcast radio show, tell them about the feature about if you start a little soon on your stream and you're like talking like we were just talking, and you didn't want that in your final piece that you want to distribute out. Talk about that solution right there.
Sure. So as you pointed out, everything that comes to StreamSpot is automatically recorded on the streaming platform and is posted for on-demand viewing afterwards. And you decide what happens to that content. It can post as is, or you can go in and trim it down to specific segments. We are also one of 10 preferred publishers to Vimeo, so not only can your content be stored on our cloud, it can auto-populate your Vimeo account as well.
That's nice. And you guys build Roku channels for all your clients?
That's correct.
So you have your own Roku channel?
Yeah, I'm sure you saw walking around NAB, OTT is just
booming
everywhere. And included in our StreamSpot Pro account is a custom Roku channel for free. So I invite everybody to go out and look at what it costs to get a Roku channel. This is something that's included with the service fee.
And what I like about the Roku feature on these, they created almost like a DVR where you can pull your own. So if you're familiar with Roku channels and you're not doing a live feed, you just have on-demand. You have the on-demand content down there. They created within the CDN. They don't charge you for it either. Where you can make a playlist and program, and you can have your Roku channel going 24/7. So if someone's clicking through the Roku channel, it looks like you're live. So that's a really neat feature there.
Glad you like it. And that's the difference between StreamSpot. Jeff is actually a customer and is very vocal about things he likes and doesn't like. And we take all that feedback and just keep cranking out these features. So.
What's also real quick, this is cool too. If you got a workflow and you want to make your video content an audio podcast, explain what you can do in the workflow right off StreamSpot.
Certainly. So if we were just a live and on-demand streaming provider, we have no right to win in this space. So we're quickly becoming a content distribution hub. So once the content's in the cloud, you can transcode it to MP3. It cranks out a link that you can then drop into iTunes and subscribe automatically as the content's populated.
So with that, because these guys are brilliant minds, I want to get to what their companies are about, what they do, but I want to talk to them about some industry stuff that's going on too. But yeah, go to streamspot.com. I mean, your affordable pricing. I mean, it's I think it's very, very aggressive in the price point.
We like to think so.
Yes. And so Rudy, I want to keep calling you guys Joycaster.
Yeah.
Because you guys started off Joycaster, but now you're Switchboard Live.
Yeah.
And let me get the website up here for this one. And here we go. And we'll take a look at Switchboard Live. All right, explain Switchboard Live to these fine folks exactly what you do, because you got an amazing product. If you're a new media company, you're a radio station, you're a brand, and you want to hit lots of distribution points, tell them what you do.
Sure, thanks, Jeff. So, like you said, we started off building Joycaster as a product for content creators to be able to distribute content to multiple platforms. So, when you're a broadcaster, you have to figure out what platform you want to choose, right? And so we made it super easy by selecting us as a destination hub. Instead of streaming just to one, you can stream to Joycaster or now Switchboard, and we'll syndicate that out to multiple destinations and make that pretty simple, easy process.
And it's easy. It's integrated with StreamSpot. So if you have StreamSpot as a provider,
destination,
yeah. So guys, I mean, you guys, I've been doing that for what,
Almost over a year.
Over a year now.
Yeah.
And literally what I've done is, if you're big in the IPTV networks, what I've done with Joycaster is like YouTube Live, Ustream, Stream Up, I've left reruns on. And I've noticed a lot of people don't understand, we can talk about product solutions, because this is going to be a big product solution that someone could come up with. I leave a computer on and leave Wirecast, and I play nothing but reruns 24/7. Now with that, they go, why would you do that? Because there's so many people surfing the internet on these different sites, it pulls traffic in, you actually gain more audience later on. I wanted to talk a little bit about analytics. And maybe we'll start with Brian first. What I've noticed as a broadcaster, the mediums of YouTube, I'll just use YouTube Live free, but there's, I come from the music industry, so a lot of that stuff is, a lot of advertisers now are not taking YouTube numbers seriously because you can forge those numbers. Like with StreamSpot, you can get like pure analytics of what's going on and what advertisers want to see straight from the CDN. Views, clicks, IP addresses,
Device.
yeah, addresses, the whole nine. You can see who's viewing your streams live, which is pretty amazing. And how we stumbled apart was by mistake. I had a trial account of StreamSpot last year, and I was trying it out. And then we did some crazy story, and then Glenn Beck picked it up and put it on his website. And I was like, oh my God, I have this free trial account. They're using it. It flipped out, and I think less than 24 hours, it went up to like 600,000 downloads. Mm-hmm. And then I called him. I'm like, oh my God, dude, Glenn Beck's using this on The Blaze, and boom. And he's like, he's freaking out. I got to turn on service, man. And then we developed a relationship after that. But thank you for that. I mean, that was I didn't put two and two because it just happened. One of those news guys picked it up, put it on the website. I didn't even know, and then I started looking at it. I was like, how in the world are we getting 200,000 down in less than 5 minutes? And I'm like looking at the site. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So our free trial account is capped at 50 concurrent viewers.
I wonder why.
and Jeff had a little less than 750,000 viewers.
Yeah, that was one of those time and moments that doesn't happen all the time. So I took that one. I was like, that was good. And we went on to the next day. They go, how much are we going to do this week? I said, well, I don't think we're going to hit that plateau today, but we'll take it. It was good. And Rudy, with the analytics, you guys are working. Have you seen with all these companies that you talk to? Because you're talking to YouTube, you're talking to Brian, you're talking to Stream Up, you're talking to all these free like content delivery networks and the paid ones too. What are you hearing? Are you guys making it easier for the broadcaster when they use Switchboard Live to gain better analytics? Like, are you guys kind of working on it?
Sure. Yeah, you have to, because one of the challenges is post-event, right? How effective was it having content on YouTube Live and Stream Up? And so we have this report that we call it's really an audience impact report. So post-event, you can actually see the viewers and users on the different ones, and we can also see just as the event's going on, how much the users were engaged. So YouTube Live, for example, you'll get some data from them, but we're taking that data and we're presenting it in a way so at the end of the report, at the end of the stream, you can look back and see where people dropped off, and we're doing that for all the platforms that we can support via their API.
And you also, it's still in beta, I believe, and if I'm not, you can correct me. But you were working on something, because if someone goes, hey, I've got a Ustream account, I got a StreamSpot account, because StreamSpot has a free chat that comes with the service. But you have all these chats going on. You have YouTube Live. Mm-hmm. You guys have something in beta that you're kind of trying to work on where all the chat is integrated together. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're still in beta with that, but it's been getting a lot of good feedback. So imagine if you're on these 4 or 5 platforms, just being able to manage the chat and see the questions that come in. We make that view and bring everything into one view. So now you as a broadcaster can say, hey, Johnny on YouTube, answer that question, or Sam on Twitch, and answer that question directly. So it's much easier to manage your multi-streaming distribution point.
I mean, from your side, obviously you guys in the business now, what do you guys think about that? If you have the fact of reruns going on, almost like you're an IPTV network, so you can use these free CDNs, get a free Ustream account, and just run these reruns. What do you think about that? You see a lot of people doing that with
it's huge. That's the whole point, is you want to put the content where people are watching it, right? It's a challenge to say, hey, come watch me at this date and this time, and then ensure that that people are going to tune in. So that's a challenge in itself. And so our goal is really empower the broadcaster, put the content where people are watching it, and just like you see in success, right? People are tuning in, and then they'll come back and get to know you, what type of quality content you're putting out there.
And to build on that, I mean, look at what's happened to this show. I started my career at the ABC affiliate in Cincinnati, where I met my wife and co-founder of the company. But a decade ago, there was 2 streaming companies.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And what, it's 4 floors now?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's huge.
It's unbelievable. So, the entire medium of broadcast is transitioned to allow content creators to utilize these channels that you mentioned to get their content out in a way that they would have never been able to do a decade ago.
Well, the talk of the town, and I say town probably on my segments. I've been asking everybody what your opinion about Facebook Live is. A lot of people are just hype on it. I've already seen literally, I checked my Facebook yesterday. Someone's already doing a Facebook Live marketing conference. They were already on it. I mean, literally, it's going on right now, like in Orlando, and I read it.
What's Facebook Live?
Exactly, right? I think this is brilliant. What do you guys? Oh, we got to talk about your integration with Facebook. Talk about your integration with Facebook Live from
Indeed, yeah. No, we're very aware. When you're a small business owner and Facebook gets into live streaming or YouTube gets into live streaming and offers it free, it's obviously a huge threat. So we really got out in front of this one. Facebook has opened up an API. You have to basically request to get the mention type look, where you see the live subscribe and all of that. And given our size, we don't necessarily get to the top of that list.
Right.
So we found a workaround. I was actually talking to Josh about this, where presently you can schedule this throughout StreamSpot, and live video will still populate within the timeline. Now it's not the direct integration. We'll do that once we're granted the API, but it was a way for us to give it to our customers immediately while we're waiting for the full integration.
Right. Rudy, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, we're doing the same process as these guys. It's we submitted our application for the connection, but it's going to be interesting. It's a big medium. A lot of people use it. It's a sticky platform, so you have to support it, right? And I'm just going to be curious to see if you have the ability to really get niche-y, because one of the things Brian was mentioning is all these different platforms. There's so many different types of even niche verticals that are in space. You have gamers, you have food, you have creative, painting, you have, broadcasters. So I'm wondering to see just, people having their timeline flooded with different types of video. Is there a way to kind of compartmentalize it out, because I think that could become a challenge, honestly.
Yeah, with content in general, there's so much content out there, and a lot of people just using their phones, and I get that, but we're creating a generation of content creators. Everybody can become a content creator now. And it's my prediction. I said this yesterday on the show. My prediction, next 5 years, we're going to see a revolution in every mall. I believe you're going to see high-end cameras. You're going to see streaming boxes for sale for a better, like a medium type broadcast. You want to look a little bit more pro. It's just like we're creating hobbyists that are buying this equipment. Like, a lawyer, he might play the guitar. He's not in a rock band, but he'll go to a Guitar Center and spend $3,000 on a guitar and amp. We're creating a generation that's going to go, how can I take my broadcast to the next level? That's going to be an affordable solution. And you guys have been doing it the last several years, pushing it forward. But I think this is a very exciting time to be in live streaming. Everybody's like, oh, live stream, I can just turn on my phone. Yeah, but there's more to it.
That's more. Yeah.
What I see with Facebook Live is we're going to have so much, depending who your friends are, who you like or you follow, it's going to be a cluster, of this information from bad to good, And I've been telling a lot of radio stations lately, I said, you really need to jump into this. You need to go get a high-end switcher, because if not, you're going to be left in the dust, because these smaller companies, these younger kids are going to come in and adapt this. They're going to look a little bit more pro, do their morning show on the radio station, they're going to get great numbers. It's just a wild, wild west right now. That's what I like about it. Like anybody's going to win in this thing.
When I first saw the Facebook Live, I didn't really see it as a threat, because you're watching within the timeline at that point, and it was a handheld device on a phone. I mean, the quality's just horrendous. But then I was talking to somebody from Limelight last night, and they said, this generation coming up could care less about 4K televisions or large screens. They want to watch that content right there on their device.
Right on.
So, I think that even though the medium is not the quality that a lot of the people at this convention have worked their entire lives to get to,
right,
I don't think it matters at this point.
Very true. It's very true. I mean, it's like I had a rapper one time. I hated the mixes, I said, we're going to send this back to mix and spend about $20,000 on mixes. And he goes, no, I don't want to do that. He goes, my audience doesn't care. He goes, my generation's been raised on compressed files and it's continued gets compressed. He goes, I'm not spending, they're not going to hear it. I said, man, I mean, it's really true. That is a very valid point about this generation. I mean, because I'm caught doing it now. I have a big, 4K TV in my house, but I'm looking at my phone the whole time. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, why do I have a 4K TV? But it's so true. It is literally so true. Rudy, any thoughts?
Well, no, I mean, Facebook and if you think about it, just the other platforms. So you have the Periscopes, you have, Stream. So it's interesting to see how putting content where the millennials are watching it, right? And that's a key thing to do.
And we talk about Periscope. Let's talk about the distribution, because you guys are a distribution portal.
Yeah.
And how to stand out, most people are like, that's just too much. That's too much for what I'm doing. Yes and no, but if you're creating an IPTV network, you've got to have you've got to have stuff to put on the IPTV network. To talk about the overall, I'm curious, because you guys on the back end, I'm a content creator, but what you guys are seeing on your back end, what are you seeing more of from content creators? Obviously I read an article that churches are the biggest new media hubs in the world because of the streaming now. Talk about your audience a little bit of what you're seeing. I know you're big in gaming. You got a lot of gamers. We'll start with you first.
Certainly. So, we started this racket in 2010 with one church in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're now in all 50 states and 11 countries. And on a pie chart, churches and synagogues still make up about 60% of our content.
Wow.
But as far as what do we stream, you name it, pretty much anything but adult content at this point. Jeff Adams' show, to a church, to a synagogue, to video games, no shortage of content.
Good.
Yeah, and for us, taking content like yourself and people like, when we first started out, it was easy to see the content coming through, but now it's grown to, cooking shows, to new media, we have someone that's actually using our platform to stream crocheting. They're streaming crocheting.
Are you serious?
On Twitch and YouTube Live, yeah. And
on Twitch?
Yeah.
Crocheting!
Exactly.
Let's watch Grandma.
And she's young. She's, I don't think she's grandma at all. But
all right.
Yeah.
I guess it's a new thing. I'm getting old now.
And then but that's a different flavor. It's in the creative. It's on Twitch. She's getting the eyeballs, and it's just amazing to see when people have a medium how they leverage it.
And I'm not a gamer at all. I just have never understood why people are streaming video games. I can barely play myself and be engaged, but I guess it's a big thing. People like to watch other people play video games.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We did an event, FIFA Interactive World Cup. They flew 32 of the world's top FIFA players to New York City. We had 9 consoles of this event, Xbox Ones and 360s, what have you, and streaming that out to YouTube and Twitch. And then the next day they had the World Championship. So this guy was granted he was the world champion of FIFA Interactive World Cup soccer, winning money, making a living doing this, and it was amazing the number of people that were watching this across the board. Sending it to Times Square's billboard, sending it to TVs in Malaysia. It was amazing.
Well, we got a few more minutes here. I wanted to talk to you about the content. In podcasting, it was really huge. You had to have a niche type of content to stand out. Some people are doing podcasts off of TV shows, and they're doing extremely well with them. What do you think let's get back to the IPTV thing and creating content from the visual standpoint, from streaming to on demand. Do you think that's going to be the same as in the podcast world, where you're going to see networks like you just said, cooking? Obviously that's huge. We already have the Food Network on cable, but these niche shows or IPTV networks that are just niche. And do you think we're moving away from a broadband like an ABC, where you have this, and this, where you're going to see more niche programming with these IPTV networks in the years to come?
Sure. So, what makes these things blow up? You don't really know. But what is available now is the hardware for anybody to create professional-looking broadcasts. You got your StreamStars, your NewTex, your Telestreams, which we're all partners with, and it's fantastic. And actually, later in the show, I've got an announcement to make about a new partnership that we have.
Well, go ahead and get to it, because we got about 4 minutes.
I'll do it right now. Sure. So, as you mentioned, we're in churches and synagogues mainly. We've always had this competitive advantage for our automation, which means Customers set a start time and an end time, and everything happens automatically. Well, at this point, we've been relying on those distributors, the Telestreams and the OBSs of the world. But now we're going to have our own hardware device. We've partnered with a company called Videon. And it's going to be a fantastic device, HD SDI input, HDMI input, analog inputs. But the beauty is you're going to plug this thing into the internet based off of the MAC address. It's going to auto link to your account, and it's fully automated.
Love it. And with that too, obviously if you had Switchboard Live and you were going into using all the portals, could they use the same box for that?
Absolutely.
That's great. That's
awesome.
That's fantastic.
It is. Yeah. I mean, we definitely, coming over here, just leaving some of the other guys. The guys' booth as well. That's huge. If you're able to make that process super easy, send it out, plug in cameras, and go. I mean, you're right. That definitely turns people into their own broadcaster.
We had New Tech here yesterday talking about NDI. That's a big revolution. I'm more of I like software. I kind of use it in my workflow. I use Wirecast from the reruns. But I'm more of a hardware guy. I like maybe it's my old school, but I like the video switchers, and I like to have it in my hands. So a lot of people just are doing stuff off software. I mean, I really like the physical stuff I can touch. So I think that's a great move on you guys' part.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean NDI is game changing. New Tech's got it. VMix, those guys were showcasing it, and to have less than a frame of latency over gigabit, it's game changing. So
it's amazing. Did you get a chance to go check it out?
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's
definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's very fascinating what they're doing. I mean, it's like I tried to get him to talk about 5 years ahead. He couldn't even do it yet because this is still fresh and new. I mean, you can't. I mean, after dreaming that up, the workflow. How can you push that further? I mean, every year I come here, my mind gets blown with this stuff because someone comes out with something like, I wish I would have thought of that.
Did you see the 360 stuff?
Yes.
And where I think that's headed is. From streaming so many religious organizations, when are we going to get to the point where we're wearing VR headsets and it's like you're sitting in the front row because you can look up, down, left, right.
Right.
And the fact is we're not that far away. I saw a demo in the Wowza booth where they had a $400 2.7K camera, 360 degrees, that using bit moving was for the player. There was no software to download or anything for 360 viewing. So for $400 and then integration into either of our platforms, you can have that.
It's gonna be bizarre. It's like this type of relationship we won't need anymore. Mm-hmm. Well, you do, but still people. We're going to create this environment of kids eating ho-hos and Twinkies in a virtual world that you can't even get out of the house now. It's crazy.
You got to get out and exercise, right?
Yeah. So Rudy, thanks for coming by. He's at check him out. Distribution portal for your streams. Switchboard .live
or at Switchboard is our handle. Switchboard Live.
And then we have streamspot.com here. And guys, I really appreciate your time today and your insight in the streaming industry. Maybe next year we'll come back, do it again.
Love to come back.
And we'll do it again, man. And but we got apparently what I'm getting. We have some celebrity coming here. So we have a break, but then the celebrity comes. Okay. So, anyways, you're watching NAB Live 2016 coverage produced by Broadcast Beat, and we'll be back with more here at NAB Live.
I'm Kid Kelly, and you're watching NAB Show Live, produced by Broadcast Beat.
Live from Las Vegas, this is NAB Show Live, produced by Broadcast Beat. Here's your host, Jeff Adams.
Hey, it's the Ugly Mug back. The beauty of live television, I guess we actually do have a celebrity en route right now, I promise you. But I guess someone in the entourage actually sprained their ankle and they had to take care of it. Actually, that's a joke. That didn't happen, but they're en route. Anyways, with my guest, thank you for being patient with this live broadcast that we're doing. We just got to fly by the seat of your pants with guests and everything, but I appreciate you guys hanging around. We got the CEO of StreamSpot, co-founder of StreamSpot. We got the CEO of Switchboard Live. We've been talking about their platforms. And if you missed it, content delivery network, streaming network, StreamSpot, a portal to lots of content delivery networks, all in stream. Excuse me, what was that? Switchboard Live. I keep wanting to call you Joycaster. You changed your name a couple months ago, and it throws me off. So, anyways, guys, something interesting happened to you guys. We were talking at break. You guys basically said these million-dollar companies with marketing and stuff. And you guys share about, you guys went through an upstart type thing. I believe you went through Ocean.
That's correct.
Explain what Ocean was.
Sure. So a lot of startups go through accelerators or incubators. It's almost a requirement these days if you want to raise any kind of funding. And Ocean Accelerator was the first faith-based accelerator in the world, which actually fit really well with StreamSpot because of all of our churches and synagogues. So went through that last year and graduated in April and actually closed a seed round midway through the accelerator. So
wow.
Yeah.
And you Techstars.
Techstars, yeah.
Now,
well,
Techstars in Texas?
We actually went through 3 accelerators.
3?
Yeah, they say I'm a seasoned accelerator. So we're from Orlando. There's a Orlando-based accelerator called Starter Studio, and then from there I went to one called Venture Scale Up, and then we went to Techstars. So for me, it was a great crash course learning just the startup life, because it's night and day coming from corporate world. So I had these segments of this crash course. At Techstars, we were in San Antonio, Texas. We got out of there February 11th was our demo day, and we're actually raising a seed round now.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. When you people have ideas all day long, right? They
Yep.
come out, they jot it down. So your process getting to going through those situations to find funding and getting educated how to basically make it happen.
Yeah.
What could you give some insight to people that are trying to exactly do the same thing that what you're doing right now? They might have an idea to change the tech world. What kind of advice can you give them?
So I think that's exactly why, like Brian's mentioned, an incubator or accelerator is key, because you have the idea, but the execution, that's what you need to learn how to do, right? And obviously capital helps with that. And so for me, coming from the streaming background, network operations, and saying, hey, I have this idea, but I don't know how to go from here to here. Those are the things that I think an accelerator incubator really help you. It's create some short-term goals, figure out partners, get a product out as soon as fast to get some feedback. Those are things that are valuable.
Yeah, what I meant about that question was like, what is the? I mean, I'm sure that you've got to give some people some insight. If you have an idea, you have to have some type of physical software or something to go in and say, hey, because I've dealt with investors before, and they want the P's and L's off the bat. They want a 5-year. And
not all the time.
Explain that.
Please, because sometimes it's a team, right? If you have a good team that you're able to put together, and here's the vision, you're able to paint that picture. Investors, they're investing in people in the team. They're not really investing in a product, because everyone has an idea. It's how you're going to execute that.
Right.
So I think for me that was beneficial going through the incubators and so forth. But our early investors was, hey Rudy, we've known you for a year. We've seen the progress. You guys have a great team, and we want to be a part of that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Your experience?
I'll agree and disagree. Investors like revenue, and investors like customers.
So they go, what's with Shark Tank? I want to make money, lots of money.
That is correct.
Philosophy.
What I'll say to entrepreneurs is, when you walk into a convention like this and you own a startup and you see these booths that are, got to be $10 million booths, if you're not innovating constantly, and by the way, get ready to work. It's not NAB pods and everything that you see in these these entrepreneurial articles. It's going to be a lot of work. You're going to eat a lot of spaghetti because you're not going to have any money. And I mean, if you're not listening to your customers and coming out with new features, then you have no business being in the game.
Yeah, it's a hustle world, and and how do you guys balance that out with family life? I mean, when I was doing mine, I never saw them. Basically, I was always gone on a plane traveling. How do you guys balance the work life with the family life? Because a lot of people, they might be married, they may not be married, they have kids. How do you guys balance all that, the professional? Because it's good to have a balance. Because if you consume, when I've talked to people before, I tell them you need to find balance and you need to shut off the phone.
It's a challenge, though.
It's a challenge because you're doing the hustle, but it's good sometimes to just shut down, because you're not doing the company any good if you're going 24/7. Sometimes you need to shut down and refresh.
Yeah.
What kind of advice can you get? We'll start with Rudy.
I don't even know if I have advice, because I think I'm probably what you're talking about. Unfortunately, I think for me, I'm engaged. I have a fiance, so she's been like just a solid rock for me to be able to go out and be that supporter. So for me, I think having someone that you can rely on to take care of maybe some of the things that, around the home and so forth, and obviously I have kids as well. So that's core for me. But I guess you're right. I mean, being able to turn off the phone, on the weekends, I think is key. But just like Brian mentioned, for me, it's hustle. You have to, you have to put the time in to get the business where it wants to go. And for us, we have, from a co-founder standpoint, we have a hustler, we have a hacker, and then we have the hipster. And so I, I fill that hustler role, in my opinion.
Brian?
Well, mine's a little unique because my co-founder is my wife. So, that work-life dynamic is
How's that work?
well.
So if you have a fight at home, does that come into the office?
I'm the CEO, so I report to her. So let's just put it that way.
Okay.
But no. Laura and I have always worked together. We work together at WCPO in Cincinnati, and it's just in our wiring. But as far as work-life balance, we have 2 kids, and I'm a firm believer that I'm not going to turn anything off for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Because if we do this correctly and end up being like one of those booths in there that's, $10 million, we'll be able to spend more time than we ever could with, just an enterprise type of position.
Well, how do you separate that? I mean, like, obviously your mind's always going, and she's involved in the company, and you guys are out with the kids and you're talking, and how do you balance the conversation a little bit with, you're not talking about work all the time?
We don't, honestly. I mean, my social skills are suffering a bit just because that's really all we do. I think you have to if you're going to be successful in this.
Yeah, it's balance. I tell people all the time. I mean, it's great to push, but time flies by, business goes. I mean, I can't even believe I'm 43 years old now, and literally, I always, when dealing with entrepreneurs and stuff, I always tell them, like, focus. Your family's always going to be there in the end, Well,
they're your biggest supporters, right? And
right.
So, I mean, that's why I think it is for me, being able to have a support system, whether it's, locally. I mean, Techstars was in San Antonio. We live in Orlando. So, I was there for 3 months. Luckily, there was Thanksgiving, Christmas. So there was probably, I think, a maximum of 3 weeks between seeing each other. And a couple times, family members flew out and so forth. But I think it's awesome that your wife is your part of the company. I think that kind of helps things out. At least you guys have a common goal you're focusing on, which is awesome.
We make it work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, you've got to make it work. You have no choice. So if something does happen within that marriage, you're gonna have a split off. She's gonna take stream on and stream on. Who's getting stream spot? Well, I'm coming stream on.
haven't played out that scenario yet.
Yeah, you don't need to. Never put that in the business plan. So Rudy, let's get into a little nuts and bolts a little bit more, because we got a little bit more time. How much more time do we have? Okay, we're getting a little bit of nuts and bolts before the celebrity gets here, and just describe your system a little bit better and what you're doing over there.
Sure. So as a creator, you pick a platform, right? Hey, I'm a gamer. I want to stream on Twitch, or hey, I'm a YouTuber and I'm streaming there. So you have your encoder. So you basically select your encoder that you're going to use. And instead of going directly to that platform like you normally would, we're right there. We're in that middle process, and we enable you to now grow your audience by streaming to more than one platform. So if I'm a gamer and I have maybe a big audience on Twitch, but I want to try out YouTube Gaming or Zubu or Hitbox or Disco Melee, whatever, all these different platforms are popping up that are really niche-y. Here's a way where you can test your audience and being able to see if people are gravitating to your content. And we believe that's invaluable as a content creator or producer. So it's straightforward, it's simple. We want to minimize the workflow, and I think that's the importance of what we built, is really a streamlined workflow to make 1, 2, 3 in your life.
I always wanted to ask you this. Now I guess I can ask you this. With your platform, how do you keep engaged with the latest CDN popping up, a free platform or a paid platform? How do you keep up with all that?
Believe it or not, our customers, they tell us, like, hey, we've been trying this, hey, we want to do this, and so we'll reach out, and they're typically the ones that are informing us. Early on, like Brian mentioned, there was a couple of them, and as more and more come in place, our customers tell us what they want, and that's the point of a business, right? It's to provide value to the customer.
Yep. I literally can't keep up with. I mean, there's a different platform, and I'm like looking at what is this, and I'm like, I have to put it in the Switchboard Live and put it in there and like do the feed and test it out. Because you're right. I mean, because a lot of these people, they're looking for content for their site, good looking content that's
and that's one of the reasons why we're building an API. So think about it. If you are a product or you're building an app or you have a platform that you want to build, but you don't want to build the infrastructure, you can leverage our API to now use our ingestion point and then also do the delivery. So we want to make it pretty simple from a phone app to a website to be able to plug right in to all these platforms, because there are going to be more, guaranteed.
How many more?
No, I'm saying there will be more.
How many more, Rudy? I want to know right now.
I don't know the answer.
How many more CDNs are going to be out?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, and here's the thing. And here's the question I really wanted to ask.
Sure.
All right, let's get into it. There's so many streams everywhere with names, with companies. Stream this, stream that. Do you think we'll come up with a better name with streaming? Because at some point, if we keep saying streams on names of businesses, we're going to run out of names, right?
I agreed, yeah. I don't know that they're going to change the name of the medium anytime soon, but
yeah.
But thank God for trademarks and things like that. So
okay, well, bye-bye. We got the celebrity here, Rudy, Switchboard Live, Brian, streamspot.com, and check them out. And we'll be right back with that celebrity, yo. NAB Live 2016 coverage.